So I think that we are live now. We are live. I'm trying to get this audio right really quickly. So we're good. We're live. All right. So everybody that is either joining in now or you will join in later, thank you for coming on and being a part of our PenPal session where we make this discussion focus on getting some information that can help us be more goal-oriented, be a little bit more motivated, and being able to have a mission and a goal in place for ourselves. But tonight we shifted gears and we want to talk about the unorthodox routes to success. Before I go any further, this is under the PENS program umbrella, which stands for Providing Educational Needs and Support. We founded the program in 2017. And of course, because of the pandemic, we had to shift and make some changes, but we're still doing things like this. But tonight, if you're watching this, say tonight, put it in the chat, put it somewhere. We have DeAndre Hurley to talk about his route to success, his unorthodox route to success. And so we all have so many ways of being able to share the information and share light on it. But tonight we want to make sure that DeAndre Hurley was a part of this conversation. So DeAndre Hurley, I'm gonna call him Hurley. That's what I call him. So I call him Hurley. But Hurley, just let the people know who you are really quickly, man, if you don't mind.
Okay, I mean, honestly, I'm just a small fish in the Demetrius Dew world, man. I just gotta be honest. That's just what it is, man.
Come on, man.
That's all,
man. That's all.
But yeah, man. You do your thing, man. Anytime we get together, it's always amazing. So
yes, sir. Always. So look, we got some questions for you tonight, man, because we want to dive a little bit deeper into just the unorthodox routes to success, because a lot of times from what we've seen probably growing up versus now, the welcoming of unorthodox routes has been a little bit more welcoming now, than they were a couple of years ago. Of course, we've been told go to school, get education, college education, maybe get your master's, maybe get your PhD, the whole nine, right? But because of so many different things, information and et cetera, stuff has shifted so that people can accelerate that process. And so they may not even need the next degree. They may just need the next connect. And so what would you define as success? Because it can be defined in so many ways, but how would you define it?
Honestly, for me, I think success is kind of like a self thing. For me personally, how I kind of envision success is like being able to own my own time, being able to say, I'm gonna allocate this amount of hours to this specific task or this, whatever the case may be. Another big thing for me is being able to free up more time to kind of go back and be with family. And also, I think I kind of define success as being able to put other people in position to be successful. That's something that brings me self-fulfillment. So personally, those are some of the things I kind of envision success to be.
Yeah. And I think to literally segue into the second question, what you said about putting other people in position to win, putting other people in position to succeed, being able to free up your time. Would you say that was one of the things that you probably were able to get from South Carolina State while you were a student, being able to put people in position to win like that?
Yeah, I think so. South Carolina State definitely shaped me 100% to kind of get to where I am today. Just like being in student government association and like just working alongside, a lot of faculty members and students. It definitely shaped me to kind of be in a position to, to work at any job and kind of know, okay, I have the tools of, what it takes to be successful in any role or anything that I kind of do.
Yeah. And how was that experience? Because you and I even worked together on that level wherein like you put me in position to be able to share that talent per se, in the area of like public speaking. So your ability to identify success in that way of putting people in position to win is not just something that you desire, but you've been doing. So like where did it come from for you to be able to say, once I get in this position as the SGA president, if I see Demetrius Dew over here doing this thing, instead of us working in two different islands, I'll allow the team to just connect and it be dynamic. I mean, you've done it on so many levels, but where did it come from though?
I mean, honestly, I think just in anything with me, I think something similar pretty much happened for me. Just kind of how I got into SGA alone. I had somebody reach back, like Quinn Smith, to kind of say, "Hey, you should run for this position." I kind of worked my way up to got to Goldman. Had Omari, another South Carolina State alum, to kind of reach out and help put me in that position. So I feel like it's only right that when somebody helps you, do the same thing back and you keep it going, and that's how we continue like breaking the cycle, or we continue to build our build different generations.
Yeah. Let me just pause. We got a quick commercial break. I want to let y'all know something. I think it was like maybe the first or second speech that I did while I was in college. It was because of DeAndre Hurley. He called me. No, it really was. No. If you remember, it was the freshman. It was the freshman.
Like pride event.
Yeah, inauguration thing.
Mm-hmm.
And literally that was like the first couple of speeches, man. And so we just want to give honor where honor is due to the DeAndre Hurley. And it's because of him that people call me sometimes.
Nah, dude's a man. For sure.
It's because of him people call me sometimes. So, Hurley, we talk about success, you being able to pull people up in so many different ways. And now you're a college graduate. You're at Goldman now. What would you say are some areas that recent graduates or college graduates should focus on? And I asked the question because a lot of times we focus on the next degree, right? Or we focus on getting more certifications, which all those things are good. But from your personal experience, what are you saying? Hey, in the first 2 or 3 years of graduation, you should be focused on X, Y, and Z. What are those things that you would say that students or recent graduates should be focused on?
Honestly, I think looking back, I would say I think people should more so start focusing on things that they identify something of their interest. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of times we go to school, we get degrees, and then we don't use or utilize those degrees sometimes. So I think
very true.
Start looking more towards things that you find fulfillment in, and I think creativity sometimes too can be it can. You have a lot more creativity when you're doing something that you actually like, opposed to just doing something that you just doing it just to do it. So I would definitely say focus on your interests.
Yeah. How scary is that though? To focus on your interests rather than like having the set out blueprint like some of us have, or like our families want us to have. How scary is it to even consider your interest per se versus the roadmap?
I was definitely 100% scary, I would say. I think it's just one of those things, kind of goes back to like confidence in yourself and, having faith, the man upstairs too. Sometimes, we just kind of, just being young, we just kind of got to know that, look, we kind of don't have anything to lose if we just take a leap of faith. So just do it, even if you so-called fail, it's a learning lesson. So it's not like, you can't bounce back from it. It's something that you just needed to learn at that time or moment.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So let's go to this next question really quickly, because I think as we unpack all of what you just said, some of the even more important things that are to know is like now, what is, I would say, as you've now been able to have some entrepreneurial successes and wins, what were some of the most, not just beneficial, but some of the things that you had to consider outside of just having the passion to do it? Like you were excited, et cetera, et cetera. But what were some of the things that you had to consider? Was it reading knowledge more or reading information? Was it trusting the process? Was it a longer process? What were some things that you had to consider before you took this journey on this new entrepreneurial, endeavors that you were doing?
Definitely two big things was one for sure is that everybody isn't going to understand it. And that's a tough piece about it. You can tell them about it all day, but sometimes people don't understand it. And then another big thing is, you have to make the sacrifice. So for me, my sacrifice was, paying for a course at the time, well, investing in a course at the time to kind of learn learn more about real estate, and pretty much after learning about real estate, or just putting that money out there, I had a chance to see return on investment after sticking to it and was sticking with it, and just not giving up.
Yeah. How did that return on investment feel? Because I know you've been kind of training for a while and just putting your head down, working or whatever. But how did that return on investment feel when you actually saw your name on the document or whatever it was? How did that feel for you?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it did feel amazing. It's like my brain just kind of like went in a different direction. Like, okay, like you're really doing it for real now. Like, because it took like close to a year to kind of finally get it done. But I don't know, it's just my mind just kind of exploded to know like, okay, this is something you can do, and then just it kind of made me think 100% a different way now.
And so, what's the different way that you're thinking about now?
So honestly, for me, I kind of view it as, why not go full force entrepreneurship? If I think about it, most of my day I'm spending, working at a corporate job, and if I took those same hours that I put it towards, my corporate job into myself, just imagine how many times I can close on so many deals or do so many other great things. So that's the biggest thing.
That sounds like a power move right there. Sound like a power move, Hurley. You might be. I ain't saying that while we're on the video because your employer might be watching, so I'm not going to say anything.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
So you might be owning Goldman one day. That's what it sounds like to me.
I wouldn't say owning, but I mean, I'll be transparent. But honestly, I don't. My goal is to pretty much have an early retirement. So that's just something I'm working towards, and just being able to pretty much get my time back and just kind of be able to help a lot of other people on the same journey that was, in my shoes as well.
So what age are you thinking about the early retirement? What age are you considering?
So I said I want to give myself 5 years before I, retire.
In the next 5?
Yeah.
Woo. So that's what, like 30?
So
29.
So technically, I have like 3 more years left because I'm hitting 2-year mark now. So I have like 3 more years left.
So before you're 30, you're trying to retire. So before you're 30, you're trying to retire.
Yeah.
Oh, you tough. You tough. I love it. You tough. So I know you said something about Quinn Amari earlier, but who are some other influences that has really helped you to obtain success, and not just success from like college, but you're talking about having an early retirement before 30. Where the heck did that idea come from? Like who were those influencers? Let's talk about who makes up DeAndre early. Who did this, right? Who did it? I need to know who did it.
I mean, honestly, I think I get my biggest motivation, kind of from my family. Just going down the path and just wanting to be that generational curse breaker.
Yeah.
And family being one of the biggest support systems. I think that's where I pretty much get a lot of my motivation from. And
hold on one second, Hurley. What does being a generational curse breaker mean to you? And what exactly do you feel like you have the ability to break?
So pretty much changing the trajectory of my family when it comes to finance, when it comes to investing. So specifically real estate investing. And I come from, of course, a working class family.
For sure.
We're not too privy to real estate investing. We're not too privy to investing at all. So that's pretty much what it would look like, changing the whole trajectory of my family to know like about, assets over liabilities. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. All right. So your family, that's a pile of people right there that you've been influenced by. But who else is it? Because there's somebody that we're missing here, because somebody added some fuel and some gems in there, because I can tell that there's some more mentors. Somebody, who else is it? Who's giving the gems?
So honestly, so how I got started on my real estate journey was Mark Whitten and Valerie Scott. So those were 2 of my mentors getting into real estate. So that really so just those 2 alone, they kind of made me kind of change my whole trajectory of how I think now. So yeah, that's been like the biggest push to know, like, okay, if I really take this seriously, I can go far.
Were they South Carolina State graduates?
Oh no, so one of them, Mark, he went to Morgan State. He's from Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you connect with them?
Honestly, just one of those things. So I was, one of those things, kind of getting off work. I'm always just kind of had in the back of my mind, like, okay, if I lose my job tomorrow, what would I do? So that was like a big thing that always stood out to me. And then I kind of felt like it was like, kind of God kind of putting it on me because, I stumbled across this YouTube video, and then pretty much Mark was talking about real estate investing. So I looked him up, seen he had like a seminar out in Brooklyn. I attended the seminar and I later signed up for the class. And then pretty much from there, that's kind of how I got started.
Powerful. You had to pay for the session or it was free?
So had to pay for it. And then, the class, the coaching program, had to pay for that also. So that was pretty much the big investment that I had to make on my end. It was definitely tough for sure, but worth it.
So check this out, because you're a man that's always been in rooms with people wherein if you wanted to shake hands, you could. If you didn't want to shake hands, you could just keep it pushing, right? Yeah. You didn't necessarily have to connect. But bro, tell me this. How important to you is networking? Because I know people, so it's a twofold question. How important is networking, one? And what does networking really look like? Because a lot of people think that networking is just you and I just kind of meeting. We dap up, you get my car, I get your car, right? But one, how important is networking? Two, what does networking actually mean? How do you do it properly?
So networking, relationships, pretty much the same. Excuse me, the same thing. I think relationships are one of the most powerful things ever. I feel like, honestly, I don't think nobody can technically get to that next level without, solid relationships.
It's
just honestly the truth. I feel like, because everybody, when you know somebody that's at that specific level that you want to be at, and that person who can kind of vouch for you, it's an easier way to kind of get to that level if you need to. And what a relationship really looks like is more than just, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? And see them every other month or whatever. It's like a consistent basis. Even if you touch base with them every month or every 2 weeks, like you got to continue to keep touching that specific person and just, checking in and doing whatever you need to, just so they know you're still there.
Yeah, I know. For students, I remember we did the session in the summer. It was not last year. Where we had students follow up with you all through LinkedIn, and then they connected first and then they followed up. I think even for me, I learned over time, it's like, the conferences are good. The events are good. You making the cards, the business cards is great. Yeah. But if you don't follow up, people are gonna forget you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The next time they see you, they're gonna be like, Demetrius, what? You know what I'm saying? Don't even know your last name. But it's because of, like you said, that relationship building, like always kind of keeping it saturated, keeping it, not necessarily being aggravating, but being purposeful. Like, hey, we may be able to do some in the future. We just never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's some stuff that you and I talk about even sometimes too. It's like, hey, we might be in a position where it's like, two different spaces, but there may come a time, but always nurturing that, relationship. So we're coming to the end of this discussion. I don't like to call them interviews, but I like to call them conversations, right? So what's next for DeAndre Hurley? We already know that he's a Goldman Sachs man right now. We know that he's now going down the journey of entrepreneurial real estate. But what's next for DeAndre Hurley?
I think, honestly, the biggest thing is like just trying to knock off that goal of kind of early retirement. So I guess for me, what that kind of looks like is being able to build up my real estate rental portfolio. And then just kind of keep it going. So that's pretty much the biggest thing now. Kind of using my full-time job to help, fund my business. And that's just kind of what it is now.
You're smart man. Smart man. Look, so Hurley, since you start talking about real estate a little bit, because a lot of people watching may not know what some of these terms are. But what is a real estate portfolio? What does that look like? Or what is that?
Okay, so just a real estate portfolio can just be simply you owning a property and renting it out and just pretty much making money, or living in a property and just renting it out, like similar to what you see with Airbnbs and things like that. So just having a property and owning it, and and that's pretty much a help with build your network also.
Got you. Okay. So we're gonna wrap it up, but I want you to speak to some people that may be watching now and may watch later, and they may be those generational curse breaker conduits, right? They may have been chosen as the curse breaker, right? And so you said that you're a generational curse breaker. I want you to speak to them and in your last words, whether it's you talking about maybe they need to retire early, use their job to, fund their vision. What is it that you're saying, Hurley, to generational curse breakers right now that are watching? They're like, hey, I think that it's me. I think I'm supposed to change the trajectory of my family. However, I don't know how to do it. So what are you saying to those people?
Most importantly, I would say, again, everybody isn't meant to understand your journey. Everybody isn't going to agree with you. But I think you need to just take that leap of faith and just do it. 10 times out of 10, when you invest in yourself, like invest in your education, invest in resources to get you to that specific point that you want to be at, you'll win if you believe in yourself. So not 9 out of 10, not 8 out of 10, but 10 times out of 10, if you believe in yourself and you put your best foot forward and make it happen, you'll win every time.
Yeah. And I just want to highlight this for everybody too. The man said he wanted to retire early. However, he also said that that's his 3-year plan. So some stuff, it has to be fleshed out in a sense of it's a process. You know what I'm saying? Every goal can't be a 6-month goal. Every goal can't be a year and a half. Some stuff has to be 3 years. However, the return on investment, for the 3-year goal is going to impact the next 20.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's some notes we got from you tonight. We're taking mental notes from you early. We're trying to pick your brain. You're trying to retire early. People trying to work today, maybe 40, but he said he retired at 30. So I think we need to catch up. If you watching, I think we might need to catch up. Hurley just gave us a whole monkey wrench. He said retiring early at 30. We got to work forward and not backwards. So we appreciate you, bro. Anything else you want to say to the people before we get off?
I mean, like I said, I'm just grateful to be here, man. Demetrius dude is the all-time go. Hey, this is a briefcase or book bag, man. Legendary. So I'm glad to be here.
Hey, Hurley, tell that story really quickly about how the chant even came about. Like I remember us talking about it because people may hear briefcase or a book bag, but they may not know that that's the King Talk chant. But talk about, first of all, just talk about the whole story real quick before we get off.
Yeah. So just kind of just talking in general about like King Talk. Like anytime like we needed a chant or something, I literally like text dude, hey man, we going to such and such day. You got a chant? Or can you come over to chant? And I look, I put my phone down, and 1 minute later, I see like 2 or 3 paragraphs of a whole chant, like 1 or 2 minutes later. So dude was spinning them out like that. And anytime we got in the room, like we just from his voice alone, we witnessed some powerful stuff. So this is a legend, man. I'm telling you, that dude is a legend.
I remember. This is so funny because I remember when you asked me to do the chant, right? And I'm at home, and you're like, bro, we need a chant. And I already knew, like, whenever you called me, I'm like, all right, so I have to go in the lab because Hurley is asking for a top tier chant. He's not asking for secondary, right? He's looking for top tier. So I'm literally home, bro. And as I'm writing it out, at first I'm hearing it as a poem. I'm like, King Talk. So let's talk business. I got my focus back. So now I'm on the mission. I'm like, wait. I think we're on to something. And literally sent it to you all. And I mean, the chant, bro, just like you said, we've seen some powerful sessions, man. I don't think that will ever be forgotten. And Mitchell, but Batiste, I think it was, and then Earl, man, sheesh. Yeah,
man. Some powerful stuff.
Yeah. I wonder, does Woody have all of that footage from some of those moments? Like if he could just,
consolidate it.
Yeah.
He probably still do.
That'd be something good to just hear about. But hey, man, we should definitely talk about it. I'm gonna text you after this though.
Okay.
That'll really be dope. But yeah, bro, we appreciate you. If y'all want to listen back to what Hurley was talking about unorthodox routes to success, talking about tips. He's a person that has been very successful. If you know him, he was a 2-time SGA president. He didn't say it up here, but I'm gonna say it for him. 2-time SGA president at South Carolina State, and then went on to one of the top companies in the world, Goldman Sachs. So he's not a slouch at all. This is a guy that has really attained some high levels of success. And now, even with those levels of success, we're talking about unorthodox ways to be successful. So I encourage you, man, to go back and listen, take some notes, whether it's mental or actual physical notes, and let's retire early. It'll be phenomenal for all of us to retire early and really be generational curse breakers that can be able to now fund not only our vision, but then our family to be able to go to the next level too. So we appreciate you all for watching. Thank you, Hurley, for coming on, and we'll see y'all again next time.